Now, let me walk you through the different elements of this repo.
Okay.
The most important thing you've seen in this project, so you know what that is for. Model shouldn't be in there, so just ignore that. Docs is interesting. If you open Docs, it contains some instructions on how to deploy stuff. So this is the README for Docker. You can, in the README docker.md, you can read exactly what we've just done. You can also do it for Kubernetes. So then you deploy the whole thing on Kubernetes instead of Docker. That also works. It's slightly more complicated because it costs you 3 commands instead of 1. So this is where you can find your documentation. Now, in the deployment directory, you will find all the Kubernetes deployment stuff. So these are called manifest files. And well, if you know how Kubernetes works, it's very meaningful. If you don't, just take it for granted.
All right.
So that's deployment. Then DB init scripts. That is a very small file that just needs to be there in order to initialize the database properly.
Right.
In fact, we have used a standard image from the internet of MariaDB, and we didn't change a single bit on it. And that is why we have to give it one initial command. So that's what happens here.
Okay.
The dev directory, that is important. That is higher.
Where is it?
Dev container.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And it contains the code that makes this Visual Studio Code behave as it behaves. So the reason why it knows about Ampersand and the reason why you get the functionality you have is because it's configured here in dev container. So if ever you want to change anything on this development environment, this is the place where you have to do that. And by the way, you don't have to be scared to break anything. So you can change whatever you want. If it's broken, you just start a new code space and you get it all fresh. There's nothing you can do here to do any harm on the master project template repository.
Okay, so this is just some kind of fork of the repository.
Yeah, it just takes this snapshot, and every time you start CodeSpace, it starts with that same thing again. You can save this CodeSpace and pick it up later, so you can continue where you went. But if you want things changed on the project template, you have to get in touch with us with the desires you have there, so we can change it in the project template rather than only in your code space. So feel free to run around your code space and break everything you like.
Okay, that's good to know.
Okay, well, that concludes, I think, the deployment on Docker.